Disney and all these media companies, they invest hundreds of millions of dollars into these before you go and hire some Zoomer who's a lunatic. Have they ever thought about maybe like a little bit of like, I don't know, vulnerability study, opposition research?
Well, the reaction has been absolutely horrible. It is the worst box office from a Disney live action remake that they've ever done.
That's her thanks to Steven Spielberg, who discovered her and made her. So she's an ingrate, she's annoying, and I think she's probably too and done.
Rachel Zegler, once Disney's dazzling new it girl, is now Hollywood's latest cautionary tale. You probably remember her breakout in Spielberg's West Side Story, but these days, she's grabbing headlines for all the wrong reasons. Her rapid rise has taken a sharp left turn. Social media blunders, vanishing acts overseas, and behind-the-scenes chaos have turned her fairy tale start into a PR nightmare. Not even Tinker Bell could sprinkle enough pixie dust to salvage this mess. It all started when Rachel landed the iconic role of Snow White. Instead of embracing the classic, she took aim at it, criticizing its themes, its legacy, and pretty much everything fans hold dear. Modernizing a fairy tale is one thing. Dismantling its magic is another. Turns out, audiences who love Snow White actually want Snow White. Shocking, right? What should have been Disney's next crown jewel is now a cautionary case of what happens when a star tries to rewrite more than just a script, turning happily ever after into headline hell.
Alienate half of the country when you're putting out a product meant to appeal to all. It's the Michael Jordan Republicans buy sneakers too.
Rachel Zegler didn't just side-eye classic fairy tale romance, she practically set it on fire. Forget Someday My Prince Will Come. Rachel looked like she was pitching Someday My Lawyer Will Come. She called the prince a stalker, dubbed the original story weird, and tossed the idea of true love into the recycling bin of outdated nonsense. Critics labeled her tone as smug. Fans, they took it as a personal attack. One viral tweet nailed the mood. Rachel Zegler woke up and chose violence against our childhoods. But the real backlash wasn't just about what she said. It was how she said it. Disney fans aren't exactly known for keeping calm, and Rachel's attitude only added fuel to the fire. Case in point, she joked about needing to be paid for every second she wore the Snow White gown, comparing it to a prison jumpsuit. Yeah, that went over great. Cue the internet meltdown. One commenter clapped back. Cry me a river of Disney dollars, Rachel. Because, spoiler alert, Mickey Mouse does cut checks. And no, this wasn't a shift at Starbucks.
Really, are you having trouble paying your bills, Rachel? Did Steven Spielberg not pay you for your role in West Side Story? Did Disney fail to give you a healthy paycheck? Every time she speaks, she gets less likable. There's some clip of her on the internet in her Snow White outfit saying, all 18 hours, I deserve to be paid for every single one. Cry me a river. She's just exactly everything that we can't stand.
If I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
As if the tone-deaf comments weren't enough, Rachel doubled down, turning press tours into mini TED talks on feminism and politics. Suddenly, it felt less like a Disney premiere and more like a lecture series no one asked for. It became painfully clear. Rachel wasn't here to celebrate Snow White. She was auditioning to be Hollywood's new woke spokesperson. The backlash, swift and brutal. #boycott Snow White started trending faster than you could whistle while you work. Disney's Golden Girl was now radioactive PR. Step aside, Blake Lively. This meltdown had a new main character. Normally, when a movie flops, studios just cut their losses and move on. But this wasn't just any flop. This was a full-blown Disney disaster. Analysts estimated the fallout could cost the Mouse House up to $250 million.
So she just encapsulates everything that most of us cannot stand about modern day feminism and the left in general, and Hollywood.
To put it in perspective, Disney could have hired real dwarfs to mine real diamonds and still spent less money. Behind the scenes, execs were in full-blown panic mode, emergency meetings, damage control, and whispered fantasies of making Rachel Zegler foot the bill for tanking a billion-dollar franchise. Picture it. Suits staring at spreadsheets, slowly realizing their princess had just poisoned the apple. And did Rachel stick around to face the fallout? Absolutely not. In a twist straight out of a Hollywood thriller, she vanished, literally fled to Dubai. Because nothing says damage control like escaping to a luxury desert oasis mid-scandal. Fans and conspiracy theorists had a field day. Was she dodging lawsuits, hiding from Disney lawyers, or just avoiding a tidal wave of mean tweets? Either way, one thing was clear. Nobody just casually jets off to Dubai during the biggest PR disaster of their career. Not unless they got something to hide. And a whole lot of frequent flyer miles.
Steven Spielberg and co. were demanding that she prove how Latina she really is, since her name doesn't sound Latina, angrily saying, "Did I have to bring in my little abuelita for you to believe that I was Latina?"
Naturally, Rachel's sudden vanishing act sent Disney execs into even deeper panic. Rumors flew that the studio was eyeing morality clauses or even trying to claw back part of her paycheck. Imagine being the poor soul tasked with telling Rachel Zegler she owes Disney millions. That's a fairy tale nightmare nobody wants to star in. The situation was so off the rails, even veteran Hollywood lawyers were stumped. There's no playbook in the Disney handbook for when your lead tanks the movie with her tweets. And just when it couldn't get worse, Rachel's apology dropped, or rather, Disney's apology for Rachel. Insiders whispered that the carefully worded Instagram post wasn't penned by her at all. It had all the warmth of a Frozen sequel, cold, corporate, and painfully scripted. Fans saw right through it, instantly dissecting the post's tone and timing. What was meant to cool the fire only fanned the flames.
And instead of being humble and grateful, she was entitled and a snot. 25,000 more just like her knocking on the same doors that she had opened to her. She had the opportunity of a lifetime, and I will look forward to her not getting cast in any more movies for a long time until she actually does learn something about humanity and humility.
Rumors swirled that Rachel didn't even want to post the apology, that it took frantic studio execs to finally persuade her. Because nothing screams sincere remorse like being contractually obligated to say sorry. But here's where the plot thickens. Some believe Rachel's sudden Dubai getaway isn't just a luxury escape, it might be strategic. Was she consulting international lawyers, dodging more than just online backlash? Whispers of potential legal action from Disney have only intensified the mystery. Adding fuel to the fire, Rachel wiped comments, deleted posts, and disappeared from public view entirely. To some, it screams damage control. To others, it hints at something bigger. Social media sleuths have gone full detective mode, tracking private jet logs, unearthing deleted content, and trying to decode her next move. At this point, Rachel's Dubai detour isn't giving relaxation, it's giving real-life escape mission.
It got announced. It was a huge.
I mean, your guess is as good as mine, ethnicity?
It was trending on Twitter for days because all of the people were angry. I don't particularly see people who, look like me or are me playing roles like that.
There's nothing more effective than 19-year-olds educating the rest of the voting public while yelling, "Okay, boomer."
As wild as this all sounds, it's only the tip of the iceberg. Behind the scenes, sources say Rachel is emotionally wrecked by how fast things spiral. Friends describe her as devastated, shaken, and even scared. Hard to blame her. She went from Spielberg's golden girl to Disney's public enemy #1 practically overnight. Imagine waking up adored by fans, and by lunch, realizing you're less popular than Jar Jar Binks. Exactly. Ouch. Her inner circle is reportedly divided. Some are pushing for a full-blown redemption tour. Others? They're suggesting she cut her losses and consider a quieter life path. Something low-key, like bookkeeping, or maybe underwater basket weaving. Because Hollywood? Yeah, it's not feeling very happily ever after right now.
They didn't earn it the same way, and so it comes with this entitlement. This person was born looking a certain way and has a God-given ability to lie. The movie went over budget, right? Went over about $250 million.
But whether Rachel truly deserves all this backlash, that's still up for debate. Some say Disney set her up to fail, handing her a divisive script that alienated longtime fans, then leaving her to weather the storm alone. Others argue she had a golden opportunity and sabotaged it with her own arrogance and offhanded remarks. Either way, the damage is done. This saga is now a textbook Hollywood cautionary tale. In the age of social media, one bad take can spark a wildfire, even one Disney's deep pockets can't put out. Now, the question on everyone's lips, what happens next? Will Rachel return from Dubai, rebranded and ready for redemption? Or is she destined to become another Hollywood ghost, whispered about in industry circles but rarely seen again? Insiders hint at shelved projects, producers quietly backing away, and a growing reluctance to cast the actress who single-handedly turned Disney's fairy tale revival into a brand nightmare.
Rachel Zegler, And I've got no real issue with that, although of course Snow White was called Snow White because her skin was as white as the snow.
Rachel Zegler's career now hangs by a thread, thinner than Cinderella's glass slipper. But here's the real twist. It's not just her future on the line. Disney is now in full damage control mode, not only trying to salvage Snow White, but reassessing the blueprint for future remakes. This fiasco may force Hollywood to rethink everything from casting to marketing to contracts. Insiders say Rachel's controversy could be the industry's wake-up call, sparking stricter morality clauses, deeper vetting, and tighter control over stars' public personas. In an ironic twist, Rachel may have reshaped Hollywood, not through her talent, but through her downfall. If Exile is the final chapter of her story, it reads less like a fairy tale and more like a Greek tragedy. Ambition, hubris, and an epic fall from grace. Her legacy, once filled with promise, is now overshadowed by controversy, whether she meant for it or not.
Maybe not destroy a classic from my childhood and put an actress in there that not only hates the movie she's in, but also seemingly hates Snow White, the character, herself.
The big question now, whether this Disney princess turned villain can ever find her happily ever after, or if she'll go down in pop culture history as the star who poisoned her own apple. Fans and critics alike are watching closely. Meanwhile, Disney is facing a harsh truth. Modernizing beloved classics is a double-edged sword. Push too far, and audiences don't just push back, they revolt. The Rachel Zegler saga is a sobering reminder that even the Magic Kingdom isn't immune to real-world backlash. When fairy tale nostalgia collides with modern messaging, sparks don't just fly, they explode. So, what do you think? Is Rachel a misunderstood casualty of a corporate misfire? Or is she the latest cautionary tale of ego and entitlement gone rogue? Can she bounce back from this spectacular fallout? Or is her career headed for permanent exile? One thing's certain, this drama is far from over. Hollywood, Disney, and Rachel herself have some big decisions ahead. And trust us, this is one Hollywood scandal you'll definitely want to keep watching. Until then, stay tuned. Because in the Magic Kingdom, not every story ends with a kiss.